Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back one more time with your boy. This time, unfortunately, football season is on a quick little pause, just like, the deadline day kind of coming and going. The boys kind of going on an international break. So we're going to be taking quite quick little pause from football in terms of soccer for now because a quick little happy Labor Day to all of y'all, real quick. But moving on Thursday, we are back. And by we are back, I do mean the NFL season is back one more time, starting with at the home of the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champions in the Philadelphia Eagles. That place is going to be rocking. Numbers wise, it's probably just going to shatter, like, so far as all time opening weeks viewership wise. So I hope everybody has a good time, except the Cowboys, and they lose. Moving on. The next night, I do believe on Friday, we are in Brazil one more time. This time it is the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Chargers, I do believe. And then we move forward with the weekend's matchups. But that is going to be for quick takes to handle. This is kind of a my preview ish on how I see each team, what they might do. Let me know I'm wrong. Let me know I'm just horrible at judging anything, and so far so forth, down in the comments. But before that, please go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share it with the homies, share it with the sisters, share it with everybody. But yeah, let's move on. Starting off, got to start off and end on the West Coast, which is the West Coast. So first off, let's kick it off with the NFC and circle our way back to with the West Coast with the AFC. First of all, let's start with that top. In the Pacific Northwest, Seattle Seahawks. Second year head coach in Mike McDonald, defensive minded head coach. Um, I feel like he actually had a very underrated season last year. They were 10-7. Um, I don't think they made the playoffs from what I remember, or were they 7th seed? I don't think so, but they were very close. Um, and yeah, it's just, a couple of wins here, a couple games there, and they probably were in the playoffs. And not just in the playoffs, they were 11-12 win team. With, like Geno Smith, he came to us in the Raiders, which we'll come back to later. Um, DK Metcalf's with the Steelers. Tyler Lockett's out with the Titans. I mean, the amount of changes they had on their offense, they got a new quarterback with Sam Darnold. They got a new OC. So it should take just a little bit of time at the very least for all of that to gel. Cooper Kupp's a very, very, very um, underrated signing because he didn't get a humongous deal. People are just like, all right, cool. I mean, he was a Triple Crown winner and a Super Bowl MVP from what I remember. Somebody could jog my memory right there. But yeah, that was him. And like now he doesn't even have to do that. He's actually going to be propelling JSN to be taking that next step, getting up to that next level as a wide receiver. Maybe it's a Pro Bowl. Now he's going to go to be a second team All Pro, possibly trying to push, be in that conversation with your CD Lamb, your Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Obviously, you want to be the best, so you want to aspire to be in that conversation with the best. Keeping it with that defense. Oh my God. I feel like that is one of the most underrated defense. They have Witherspoon on one side, Woolen on the other. So you got two very solid corners. I mean, they probably did not have their best year last year, but I mean, still solid corners. Moving on. I mean, D line wise, you have Leonard Williams, a dog, to hold it down on the inside. That's going to be very, very hard for any team to just kind of run on you. I feel like their edges too, low key underrated. Mate, if I'm not wrong, for one of them. Um, but they just have like a very mixed group of talent. Even in the back end, they have Julian Love. Um, So yeah, they have an intriguing group of talent. They kind of fight for one another. They have that camaraderie as a team. Um, I do kind of see them in the same kind of vein where they're right there. I see them kind of winning the division. Unfortunately, not. But I do see them being second, being in that hunt for fifth, sixth, seventh, whatever the wild card playoff seed is. Um, if Kenneth Walker is healthy, if that O line is gelling by the time playoff rolls around, a playoff upset, I would not be surprised with them, depending on Sam Darnold's performance. Again, we just saw with the Vikings, he performed very well until about week 15, week 16, and then we can't let that happen again, Sam. So, got to see what you do again with a different group, and then that will kind of determine your future as well. I mean, I don't think it was more than a 3 year, maybe a 4 year contract, but I mean, teams don't care if a quarterback doesn't work out. They're going to have to find another way. That's where you guys are at. Talking about finding another way. Let me just go all the way down this time and just jump around. We're just stay with me though. Stay patient, please. But now we're gonna jump down to the Arizona Cardinals, who talk about underrated again. I feel like that is gonna be a word that I might overuse, but I do believe they're underrated. Jonathan Gannon, shots, pew pew. That's him. It's gonna be interesting to see how that offense is gonna perform. Marvin Harrison in his second year, Trey McBride supposedly in some people's mind a better tight end than Brock Bowers, but I mean, all right, all right, okay. That just Kittle, okay, Kelsey, fine, but what? Who? Huh? Like respectfully, top five, sure, but 1, 2, 3 is like solidified currently. We'll see what happens, but like it's solidified. Please move on. But going back to that defense with the Cardinals, I feel like talk about underrated again. Like I said, I'll overuse it. They are low key underrated. Why do I say that? Well, a Michigan corner, Will Johnson, the national champion, fell to them in the second round due to some health issues. Are those health issues really going to be prevalent? What do I mean? Going into the draft, Trey Smith was red flagged, if I do remember correctly. Kansas City's medical staff said they could work around that and figure out a way, for him to be playing, and he turned into Pro Bowl, All Pro, Super Bowl champion. And that is what I fear. A lot of teams might have flagged him down, and unfortunately, in the second round, the Cardinals might have slipped into a very great pick. And another thing I do want to add, I do believe their defense last year was kind of underrated as well. They lost a couple pieces from there that had stood out, but I am going to say getting Denarius Robinson, their first round pick from last year, healthy again this year. Getting Josh Sweat from the Super Bowl champions. I feel like Jonathan Gannon was there with the Eagles the last time they were in the Super Bowl before actually winning it. And he was one of decent-ish catalysts for that reason. And then there was a dip and all of that. But keeping it moving, I feel like they're going to be interesting watch. Underrated squad. Some teams are just fan base is just going to be like, hey, it's just the Cardinals. I don't think it's just going to be that easy walking over them. Offensive line, interesting to watch. Kyler, interesting to watch. Another team, in the very recent future, could they be looking at another quarterback? Maybe. Talk about looking at another quarterback. Guys, you guys, come on. I'm getting better with my segues. Yes, let me just pat myself in the back. But I'm sorry. Keeping it moving, talking about the quarterback. Let's talk about Matthew Stafford. I hope your back's good, my guy. I hope your back's good because that defense is ferocious. I don't know about the corners. Corners, I feel like, I don't know who your standout corner is. That could be just me being ignorant, but also, do you really have a CV one? Like, like you guys were still in that Jalen Ramsey mix for a reason because he is that cornerback one. I mean, like I said, hey, Seahawks got two 1A, 1Bs, whatever you want to call it. Cardinals could have lucked into a 1A, 1B with Will Johnson. Who do you have to offer? Kobe Durant, I don't know if he's still there. Killer Witherspoon, I think might be still there. But are those really, those type of corners to wanna, put you over the top? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. It was a very close matchup with the Eagles last year in the playoffs. So hey, they are right there anyways. I mean, just a front seven. But keeping it moving. Talk about the front seven. I told you guys my segues, man. Come on. See, Rams were short. Now we're gonna move it to back to the Bay. We are talking about the Niners. Talk about the front. I have zero idea on who is in their front line, in the offensive front at least. I think Jake Brendo might still be their corner. I mean center corner. Maybe I don't know if he left. Trent, I know he's there, so I'm just gonna say Trent. Go. Yeah. Other than that, kind of don't really know because I know they lost like a lot of people. Like Aaron Banks kind of left for somewhere else in free agency, and some other pieces, whatever the case may be. Biggest case for them is going to be the health of CMC. I think Brian Robinson's an underrated pickup that nobody just kind of just let him get. I think that 1A, 1B punch should be solid. Christian should not run more than 100 carries, which is kind of limiting him, maybe 125. But like, you do have another running back, and you are more necessary for the whole duration of the season rather than whatever the case is. You're gonna hit your 1,000 yards, at least running or purpose wise, 1,200, 1,500, whatever the case may be. 200 touches, and let's keep it moving. Let's keep you healthy, and let's see you in the playoffs. Mr. Brock Purdy just got paid. I mean, the wide receiver room, low key, might be underrated, but Juwan Jennings is a question mark. Is he going to get paid? Is he going to get moved? That is going to be a question that we still got to see to be answered. Defensive line wise, I know they got Michael Williams, if I'm not mistaken about their rookie. They were very high on him, so it should be interesting. I do believe he's on the inside of the line, so that kind of does support TJ Watt after losing out on Armstead. I mean, Buckner a few years back, Javon Hargrave, and a variety of other defensive tackles that he has been, helped with on the interior. I don't know who's on the other side. I know they wanted his brother Bosa on the other side. Should be interesting there. They did get a new young rookie linebacker, Nick Martin, if I could be wrong. But I know he's from Oklahoma or Oklahoma State. So Boomer Sooner or a Cowboy. Either way, welcome to the Bay. Yeah. Should be interesting to see how he feels Drake Ringlaw's role. That defense did take a slight hit, losing Hufang in the back end as well. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting for a lot of these teams in the NFC West to see how they come out of the gate, see if there's going to be a gap between any of these teams early to keep a momentum going, if there's going to be a slip late on. Every time they play one another, it's always an interesting matchup. It's never the favored always wins out. That's what happens in divisional matchups. And let's keep it moving in this divisional talk. Where do we want to move? Let's go to the north where we stomp at. Let's start with the biggest conversation currently going. Let's go with Michael Parsons. I just talked to one of my boys earlier. Shout out Jordan. And he's a Cowboys fan. And I told him, Well, I'll talk about what I told him about the Cowboys a little later on. Let's talk about the Packers. Solidified everywhere, right? Matthew Golden solidifies their number one. They have Wicks, Christian Watson. They still have Dobbs. Uh, they have your tight end with Musgrave. They have weapons for Jordan Love. They have a pretty decent O line for him as well. You have Josh Jacobs in the backfield. So you have solid pieces in the offensive front that Jordan Love can't just, regress with. On the defensive side, yes, you have Rashawn Gary. Yes, you have him. But you did lose your cornerback one with Jair Alexander in Baltimore. You did lose your cornerback two with um, Eric Stokes. Now he's in Vegas. Yes, you got Nate Hobbs. I love you, Hobbsy, but I don't know if you want to be going to corner. I love you in the slot, but I don't know if it's going to really a thing for you. Um, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see, especially in the cold on the outside. I love you, I love you, I love you, and it's gonna be interesting to see, you there, Meek down in Detroit. So that old Raiders team, I'm gonna keep my eyes on y'all. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see, him on the outside other than in the slot, which I think is the best suited position for him. I don't know if their cornerback positions really solidified for them to kind of take that step. Xavier McKinney in the back end, loved that pickup last year. He was solid. Jeff Atley as the DC, like my guy Ty Schmidt. I mean, he loves him. I have no reason to dislike him. So let's keep it rolling. Talk about defense. Let's go to Detroit since we just mentioned our boy Amik as well. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Because I feel like this might be their window. Whether they win it within this year or next year. If they don't, I think after when they pay Hutch, I don't think um, that window is going to be as open. I think it's going to actually start shrinking because once they pay Hutch, then the next whoever's contract's going to come up. Once that starts stacking up, I mean, you're going to keep on hitting on draft picks later on. And there's just a variety of things. That's why winning so hard. Year two Detroit, I do think you have the talent to do it. It's just, I mean, you need luck at times. You need like injuries last year with your defense, kind of those type of shit. Sorry that I cursed, but those type of things that kind of derails almost. Like, I mean, I was thinking about the Falcons with Matt Ryan. I mean, they were right there. They were literally a second half away from winning a Super Bowl. Nobody really remembers any Falcons anymore. Everybody knows Tom Brady got 7 rings. 7 rings. I don't know why I put up 9. 7 rings. 9 Super Bowls. So 10 Super Bowls. 9 Super Bowls. Yeah, a lot of Super Bowls. See, got distracted. Talk about Super Bowls. Let's. I mean, they haven't been close to it, but let's just go to Chicago because like they're just old, like the Super Bowl. That's all they get. They get history. So far, that's what they have been, history. Let's hope Caleb. Let's hope Ben Johnson's duo changes that. I mean, the defense has never been a problem. I feel like ever really in Detroit. That has to be the standard. Lovie Smith, whoever I mean, even under Matt Nagy, the defense was not bad because I mean, Khalil up there with Akeem Hicks and them boys, there were some, and then even with right now, they have very, very, very solid pieces across the back end as well, in the trenches, really everywhere. Offensively, O line, they literally just changed the 3 guys inside. You got 2 very intriguing, let's say, prospects on both sides at tackles. You got Colston Loveland, you got Cole Komet, you got a variety of wide receivers. You really don't. Wow, that's actually a lot. Yeah, I mean, other than depth, I don't know. Like, and building that camaraderie, I don't know why you can't really win and get into the playoffs this year. Chicago, you guys should expect that out of your squad. Yeah, that's all I got to say for the Bears. Yeah, the Bears. And we move on. Last but not least, let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings. KOC, one of the best offensive minds currently, one of the more underrated head coaches. Talk about the upper echelons head coaches. B-Flow controlling that defense, maybe because of that. Um, but yeah, from I just feel like I don't know about the ownership really, but between the GM, offense, defense, between the head coach and B-Flow, they have alignment. They've gotten better in the trenches. They got JJ McCarthy, which I feel like is their only question mark. But having Justin Jefferson does not hurt. Having Jordan Addison after his suspension does not hurt. TJ Hawkinson hopefully healthy does not hurt. So there are things that he can kind of work around. Aaron Jones in the backfield. Will Fries, I do believe they added. Jonathan Allen in the D line. So Dallas Turner was their first round pick, if I'm not mistaken. So it should be intriguing to see how he takes his next step. If not, maybe that's a wasted pick, but he could work out maybe in his third, fourth season. Kind of grow with JJ. We'll see what happens there. Cornerback still kind of questionable. Maybe that might be another little position of watch. But moving on, we were just in the North, so let's just go to the NFC South since we were talking about the Falcons. And let's actually start with the Falcons. Interesting that they still have Kirk Cousins. Trade possibly? I don't think they should, or yeah, I don't think they should release him. But yeah, I feel like they could have had something at the draft, or even by now. But I guess they're keeping him solid QB2, and somebody might still be interested in him later on before the trade deadline, where you might get a better haul that you have been expecting so far. So that's going to be intriguing. But yeah, very. I don't know what to say about that team because they started out, nah, you know what? That Killer McGarry injury, I feel like that's going to cost him a little bit. Jake Matthews is only getting older. Matthew Bergeron's actually an underrated guard. Chris Lynch's underrated. They did lose Drew Dalman. I don't know who they replaced him with. So that's going to be, a watch there. Defensively, great year, but I feel like NFC South's really a two-team division, out of which let's start with the first one. I do believe Tampa Bay is going to be up there over the Atlanta Falcons. I am going to be picking them probably over the Falcons. Yeah, nah, I got to Emeka Abuka. Hope I said your name right, bro. I have been in love with your game since Ohio State. I have been standing on everything like I did with Justin Jefferson when he was there in the 2020 draft. I get PTSD, so I'm not going to go back to it. But just like that, I did say you were going to be the best draft pick at the wide receiver position in this, or just as a pass catcher in this draft. I say pass catcher because yes, Tyler Warren, yes, Colston Loveland, they both got picked before you. Okay, yes, wide receiver. Tight end's a position they could have taken, but if you really wanted a pass catcher, you just don't pass on a guy like you, and that's just my personal opinion. We'll see what happens, but as reports have been coming out, I feel more validated and vindication. That I was right, just like Justin Jefferson, unfortunately. But I hope you have a great time down in Tampa. No state income tax. Make that. You got Mike Evans to learn from. You got Chris Godwin kind of working back from injury. So you see how much work goes into injury. So I hope I do believe that you're already mature enough, but I hope you learn from those vets to kind of take care of your body so you do last a very long time and we get to enjoy the fruits of your labor as spectators. But yeah, going into the second year, I feel like the offensive line should gel a little bit more since they're together more. Baker more comfortable. Defense, hopefully they replenish the position, got some depth. Should be interesting. Levante David is back. Matt green dotting that defense, so should be interesting to see. I mean, he doesn't want to go out without some little hardware. Already being a Super Bowl champion. Vita Vea, the big boy, Kuya, out of the Bay, out of Milpitas. Shout out. He's still down there. Yeah, can't like that's just home. That's just family right there. Milpitas right here. Gotta support. So Tampa Bay in that division probably. Moving on, where are we left with? NFC East. Do we really got to talk about it? I mean, Super Bowl champions right there. We talked about it in the beginning. They're probably going to win the division. Washington is intriguing. Yes, Jaden Daniels, this, that, that. But yeah, I feel like Eagles got even better, which is a very, very interesting prospect because the guys that they got in the draft, like Jahad Campbell, yeah, people just Alabama linebackers, more than likely a hit. Reuben Foster, maybe not, but more than likely they are going to be a hit. It's going to be interesting to see him, Kobe Dean. Yeah, that culture is not going anywhere, and they just are replenishing. They got Jacorian Bennett out of Las Vegas because I love you, coach, but you don't like short corners. If they're good, doesn't matter. 5'11". So we got a D tackle. So Thomas, let's go. You with us? Still love you, Jay. I hope you do well. Stepped against us. Gotta make that clear. But yeah, so they got 2 corners. I guess Cooper DeJean's going back to being a safety, but he could play in the nickel. So you got 3 guys from the same draft class. You still got Reed Blankenship. Yeah, still in the back end, they're solid. CB2, CB3, interesting. How he's always going to be working, though. Outside of that, this is the Eagles. It's already set. Offensive line wise, Dickerson, I need him to be healthy, but I'd rather have him miss games early in the season rather than. And then we move on. Now we talk about the Dallas Cowboys. The moment I had been waiting for it. Like I said, I had saw my boy earlier. He's a Dallas Cowboys fan. And talking to him, I told him, everybody's giving y'all about the Michael Parsons trade, but I feel like this might be the most smartest move that Jerry Jones did since the Herschel Walker trade. Oh my God, I'm about to get. Hear me out. Why did I say that? Because Herschel Walker trade landed y'all, I do believe, like Emmitt Smith and like Larry Allen and a couple other guys, if I'm not mistaken. But if not, some offensive line pieces. Why do I mention that? Oh, because this whole time, most of your problem has been the defense. Tony Romo, Dak Prescott, doesn't matter. D Ware, shout out to the legend. He had to go to Denver to go get his title with Wade Phillips, another old Dallas head coach. Interesting to see like how that new dynamic of Schottenheimer's been there. Defensive coordinator, there's still questions, but going back to Micah, why do I mention that? They had a phenomenal player, but they couldn't stop a nosebleed. Now they got 2 solid D tackles. Why do I mention that? Your first job as any team in the NFL is to be the best team in your division because you play 6 games against these. If you win, like, let's say, what did I say, 7? 6 games. Let's say you win 5 or 4. That's a lot of games already there. Then you just got to handle a couple other here and there. That makes it a lot easier. To be the best in your division, you got to beat the best in your division. So far, Eagles are the best in your division. So you got to do anything and everything to stop Saquon Barkley. When you stop those behemoths like Atlanta Dickerson before Jason Kelsey was there, I mean, Mekhi Becton last year, that's going to be actually an intriguing position to watch at right guard too for the Eagles. But now Dallas could penetrate right up there, stop the run right there, stop possibly the tush push right there, um, or at least give it some problems more than they had before. Um, and outside rushers, like Jerry Jones said, hey, you know, I'm sorry for this accent. I'm sorry y'all had to deal with this, but this is my kind of southern accent, Jerry-ish, but more southern. But I hope y'all forgive me. I'm asking for it right now. I do not mean to offend nobody. This is just kind of like a little spoof. Bear with me. What Jerry Jones said in his interview, hey, including next year, we got 4 draft picks. And we ain't done yet. You don't know that. We could be doing some moves right now. Just keep it on. Just keep it on. You know, that's what he's all about, keeping that intrigue. Why do I mention that? Yeah, he got 30 million, but hey, without no Texas down there in Texas, Trey Hendrickson can settle down. He's a family man. He's a Christian man down in Texas. I mean, just saying. Jalen Phillips out of Miami, if that kind of goes awry. Hey, Bradley Chubb. I mean, there are pieces that can be gone to get on a low deal. There might be another and or edge that kind of pops out. You kind of pick them up towards the end of the season. If it does look like you're heading towards that 5th, 6th, 7th wild card seat as well, then you could accumulate another veteran as well. I don't know if Leonard Floyd's still unemployed. Maybe you can go get his services. And there are other pass rushers, that you can look at. Jadeveon Clowney's still free agent, if I am not wrong. But yeah, there are some other pieces that you can go get. They might not be the best, like a Micah Parsons, but I mean, Patriots never really had that dude, but they won as a team. Cowboys can understand that, and hopefully Jerry has learned that. Yet people are criticizing of him leaving the glitz and the glamour and making a team. They can't see that yet, or maybe they just want to criticize him. But that is just my 2 cents. I could be wrong. Cowboys fans might support this, and the other fans might hate this take, but hopefully y'all just let all of that slide and we move on to the rest of the division. I mean, the Giants are left. Yeah, just figure out your quarterback situation. Maybe Dayball, Shane kind of last, and yeah, you guys don't have hope until another few years, like at least in competition, right? Like get to there first. We're done with the NFC. I do believe we are finally done with the NFC. So let's go to the south of the AFC. Started with, well, we're right there, Tennessee, with the Titans, number 1 overall pick. I feel like they're going to be a solid 6, possibly 8-win team. They're going to shock some teams. Tony Pollard, he is a captain. That offensive line, intriguing. Kevin Zeitler, Skoronski, J.C. Latham. They got a couple pieces down there. Defense is getting, starting in the trenches with Jeffrey Simmons. You got a couple linebacker pieces. Back end might still be questionable, but L'Jarius Sneed being healthy, that does help you out a lot. But yeah, I mean, they did actually go back and get Quandre Diggs as well. It just depends. I don't think he has Cam Ward has enough offensive pieces other than Calvin Ridley, really. Um, yeah, they should be a solid team, an interesting team, a young team that's gonna start accumulating hype going into the next few years. Uh, Cam Ward's gonna kind of show why he was the first overall pick and why all of y'all now talk about him. Will start talking about him. But yeah, let's keep it moving. Jacksonville Jaguars. Liam Cohen's actually going to be a solid pickup for Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion. It's just how that defense meshes. They need to accumulate just talent over time. Getting Travis Hunter solid. So they're not going to have a first round pick next year. So it's going to be interesting to work around. Josh Hines Allen's still there. Trayvon Walker's still there. And he's kind of picking up into that next step of himself. After that, Devin Lloyd, solid. Corners, questionable. And we move it. Indy, too many questions. Daniel Jones, I don't know if I trust him enough to lead that. Watching the Zaire Franklin um, just outtake, I guess, on Daniel Jones being named captain. I just don't know if that locker room's kind of a championship or even competing type of thing. They just have more internal things that they're dealing with. Just losing Mr. Ursay, RIP. Yeah, they just have a lot going on. I feel like out external that's going to be distracting the team from actually focusing, and they'll get to it, but I think they're a few years out. Moving on, who's left in the AFC South? The Houston Texans. Intriguing. I do believe they're going to be the division winners one more time. Uh, in the beginning, they're going to have Nick Chubb. I think he's going to be solid to kind of push into their first half of the season. Then you get Joe Mixon. He has been to the Super Bowl. He understands what it takes to get it there. But for him, he is going to need help with the offensive line. Losing Laremy Tunsil, I don't know if you guys have helped anybody. However, I mean, weapons wise, you do have Nico Collins still. Unfortunately, I don't think Tank Dell's playing this year, or he is hurt for a majority part of it. I know they picked up another piece who should be solid. You do have tight end options. If that offensive line can't do anything, the offense is going to be just nothing. Absolutely nothing. Defensively, I mean, I don't know their defensive tackles. I'm sorry. That's on me. But you guys do have two bookends. Cornerback wise, you have solid corners. Safety wise, you have solid safety help. Jimmy Ward's gone, but I think you guys have addressed that pretty decently. Jalen Preacher, I hope he keeps ascending. But yeah, solid, intriguing, young back end and two premium pass rushers. Interesting, but depends on the offensive line. Keeping it moving. Where do we want to go? From the south, let's go to the north. Where we stop at? AFC North. Champions wise of the division, gotta probably give it to Baltimore Ravens again. I mean, that defense is scary. They just keep adding more pieces. Kyle Hamilton just got paid, so he's just chilling, like mentally. Now he just completely focused on ball. That's even more scarier. They got Nate Wiggins last year out of Clemson. He should be taking the next step. I hope he adds some muscle. And having Chuck, I think he is their DB coach, if not elite safeties coach. He is back in that building. I do believe minds like his, they are going to be helping young players in their rooms. But yeah, I just have trust in Coach Chuck, and I feel like it's time. It's between them and Baltimore. I mean, and between them and the Bills, one of them has to take that next step, get to the damn Super Bowl. I think this might be their year, possibly not, if not the Bills. And we keep it moving. If we're talking about the Bills, let's talk about the Bengals. The not MVP of last year, but statistically the best quarterback, arguably last year, with the Triple Crown at wide receiver, with T. Higgins back, with Trey Hendrickson back, with Shamar Stewart getting signed back. Yet that defense still did not look at all promising. Brand new DC losing Lou Anarumo to Indy. It should be intriguing to see how the boys perform with them. I do believe they lost Mike Hilton too a few years ago. So they still haven't been able to replace Cheeto, get some corners in there that's going to be able to stop anything. Yeah, so it should be intriguing to see that defense again. That's what it really comes down to, because that offense will put 50 on anybody, surely. That defense will probably give up 60 on anybody. So I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry to laugh, but that is your case. What can I say? Um, Moving on. Let's talk about the Steelers. Let's talk about the Steelers. Do I want to? Nah. We love Aaron. 12. Let's talk about him. Now he's 8. So they have kind of just changed their whole offense, really, right? Because like you got Aaron instead of Russ. You lost Justin Fields too. You got Will Howard, actually one of the quarterbacks that I was very high on in the draft. This national champion of last year at Ohio State. Um, he's an interesting prospect to learn behind Aaron. Could possibly be another what's his face, Jordan Love type situation. Sorry, Jordan. But yeah, it should be interesting to see how that offense kind of functions. You have a wide receiver one with DK. Your second option, maybe your Jonnu Smith, maybe a Pat Frymouth. Calvin Austin, I hope he takes that next step because on Madden 24, yes, I still play Madden 24. He is a cheat code because I switch him from a wide receiver to a running back, and he is a perfect scat back. He's like 5'8", 180. My boy got speed like crazy. I move him around, start him. That Joker position that you're looking at, you could have two Jokers with him and Jonnu Arthur Smith. RIP, I do believe you have lost your brother or your father. I'm sorry that I don't know which one it was. I think it was your brother. RIP to the family. Prayers out to the family. Love out to the family. But yeah, Artie, come on. Let's do that. Use both of those guys. You have your white guys, and you still got Booth inside and other tight ends. So there's a lot of different ways you could move on with that. Jalen Warren just getting paid. Defense, most of the guys just got paid. But the biggest question marks, I mean, the biggest, I feel like the most underrated guy of that defense, which is Mr. Cam Hayward. I hope they don't take your loyalty for granted. It's going to be intriguing to see if they do pay him or not, how they move going forward. That's where they're kind of at with them. Browns, I mean, just they're the Browns. Move on from them. They're not even worth wasting my breath on. They're the Browns. I hope Tone will like that if he watches ever. But yeah, we move on. Yeah, that's just wrong. Let's just go to the AFC East before we jump back to the West. Really quickly start off at the North. I think Patriots are going to be just like Tennessee, an intriguing team. More than 6, I think they're going to be with their better culture set, more grittier team. Respectfully to the Tennessee Titans, I think they're going to get to maybe 6-8. Week 1, obviously they're going to lose to the Raiders, but outside of that, I think they have intriguing pieces. Drake May, you got a brand new left tackle for him, and Will Campbell. Defense, it should be interesting to see. Barbour, I hope you come back healthy. Loved you since Alabama, really, that national title game. And actually before that, but that season really, and then finishing off with that national title. Hope you come back healthy. Melton Williams, you got your cornerback Gonzo. Shout out to him. I do believe y'all got Carlton Davis on the opposite side, so shout out to him as well. Um, Intriguing. Safety tandem. It should be interesting to see how they perform. They got our Bob Spillane in the linebacker position. They got Harold Landry rushing on the outside. They actually got a lot of pieces now, I see. But wide receiver and the pieces that Drake May had to work with is probably the biggest question mark. Javon Baker, I think, got released. If not, they still don't have anybody of note. Stephon Diggs, shout out to him. But outside of that, you don't have a lot of pieces to rely on. Hunter Henry, shout out to you as well. A vet doing his thing. But yeah, outside of that, I don't really see weapons, and that's why they have been looking for weapons. Should be interesting to see if any pop up and they pull one, and maybe they jump from that 6-8 to like a 10-win team, surprising everybody, kind of like the Commanders did last season. Because Dan Quinn, Vrabel, sure, I mean, culture setter guys, first year guys compared to a rookie quarterback, similarities right there. So it should be interesting to see how they perform. Like I said, I think grit's going to be the biggest thing. And Travion Henderson was somebody I had my eye on. Everybody's kind of seeing what he has the potential to be in the preseason. We'll see what happens in the post. Bills. Talk about the Bills. The other team that's right with the Ravens. I mean, that should be dethroning the Chiefs. I don't know what else to say other than that. Back end might be questionable, but other than that, yeah, defense might be a little slight question mark, like I said. But yeah, offensively, I mean, you just had the MVP. You just paid almost everybody. Should be an easy sell. 10, 11, 12, 13 wins. And then once you get to the playoffs, can you just at least get to the Super Bowl? Like, let's just get to it now, like at the very least. Obviously, everybody wants to win it. Perfect way to kind of start your new stadium as well. But yeah, that's where they've been at like for a few years now, almost 5 years now. Just got to take that next step, and you've just been there. So, like, I hope y'all do it. Moving on. Where do we want to go? Do we really want to go to the Miami Dolphins? I feel like they're kind of like in the same stage as the Browns. Like, you're more talented. You got a quarterback. Yeah, your defense never really stays healthy. You don't really have cornerbacks that I could trust. Do you really have linebackers I could really trust? Do you have depth? Who's even in your offensive line? I feel like there's too many question marks. Unfortunately, I really like him, but I think Mike McDaniel's going to be fired this season. If not at the end, maybe in the middle of the season. And unfortunately, yeah, that's where we're at with them. We'll see what happens moving forward with the whole entity. But yeah, that's where they're at. Jets, and they're going to be a 4-6 win team, kind of like the Titans. Just be there. They just need time to kind of get that squad gelling a little bit more. Yeah, just don't see them succeeding in their first year with a first year quarterback with the team, first year head coach with the team. Just a lot of moving pieces. And also just their culture in general. So can't really trust something that hasn't been existent. Moving on, let's finish up in the AFC West. Back home, obviously, we're gonna finish with the best at the last. So, what do we want to start off with? Let's start off with the Kansas City Chiefs. This is your downfall. TikTok. I mean, that's the easiest way I could put it. Travis is getting older. If Patrick Mahomes is going to be in that Tom Brady like competition in terms of Super Bowl, it's going to have to be that next addition of your team outside of him. McDuffie contract question mark. So it should be intriguing to see like how they kind of start shattering. But yeah, that's where we're at with it. We saw the Karlaftis and Chris Jones. I mean, I hope that's just competition, but hey, there could be something that could be taken the wrong way sometimes. That's just how it is and human nature is. And I'm going to kind of just leave it at that with the Chiefs. Offense, I mean, they're going to be what it is. Defense, Spags. I don't get why nobody goes after Spags as a head coach. Go get him. But yeah, Miami, go get him. Somebody, go get him. Get him out of Kansas City, man. Just don't let that man stay in that defense. Just overhand. Moving on. Let's go. Talk about the defense. Let's go to the Denver Broncos. That defense is going to be absolutely lethal. Not somebody I am the most intrigued and most excited to play against anymore. But standards are standards. Got to play who's in front of you. So we'll see what those games look like. It's going to be a divisional, hard-fought matchups, I do believe, with them. It should be interesting. If you want to be a good team, you're going to have to be another good team. They are going to be a good team. So let's just leave them at that. Let's finish up with the Chargers. I mean, Raiders and Chargers were in the same type of level. Offensive line, defensive line, linebackers were kind of matched up now. Head coaching wise, same thing. Weapons wise, hey, intriguingly, maybe we're right there. Maybe Raiders are in the front. Quarterback wise, more than likely, everybody's going to say Justin Herbert. But Geno Smith and Justin Herbert have the same amount of playoff wins so far. One has a chance to go win it, one doesn't. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned for the NFL season and quick takes coming at you Thursday.